Can you give us your definition of brand identity and why it's so important?
Brand identity is how people recognize it's you. That's really what it comes down to. You have to be, I like to kind of talk about that paradigm in the terms of what I call the 3 R's, which is you need to be recognized, you need to be remembered, and you need to be revered. Being recognized is where design comes in. It's like whenever people come across you on social, on your website, some piece of content that you did, some email that you send out, every time they come across you, there has to be a level of design that's discernible, color, font, some sort of treatment, logo, and it has to be incredibly consistent across every single place that they find you, because that's how they remember you. You don't want this huge range of disparate design things going on, because if people come across you on LinkedIn on a post and then through an email and then on some social thing or on your YouTube channel and everything looks different, they don't know that it's you immediately. And so making sure that people recognize it's you when they come across you is job number 1. And one of the biggest mistakes that designers make, or not designers, or entrepreneurs, kind of solopreneurs make when they go out, is they'll buy a logo on Fiverr and they'll just throw it up on their website, and then they'll develop a social media channel 3 months later, and they choose some colors and they do some design stuff over there, and then they'll go over on Facebook and they'll start a Facebook group, and then they'll do some design stuff and some fonts and some colors over there, and then before you know it, a year later, they have this rat's nest of disparate design elements, colors, and things going on that they then have to go back and clean up. And so while they think they saved a lot of money by buying a logo for $20 on Fiverr, they actually dug themselves into a very deep hole that's going to be very expensive and time consuming to get themselves out of. And so also because this is my business and I see this day in and day out, companies that have grown to, 500, $1 million, $10 million a year, who have this, they need to herd their cats. Their cats are all over the range, and they've made a big mess for themselves, and their business has taken off, and they are now sacrificing brand equity and recognition because they didn't get their act together in the beginning. And so I'm a huge proponent of people saying, hey, spend what you can afford, but invest in your brand design, because establishing that at the very beginning will save you so much more money, and it will also gain you so much more recognition from the very beginning, that you're not going to sacrifice all that work you do at the beginning down the road by having to go back and clean everything up. So brand design essentially is, developing a digital visible design ecosystem of elements, a logo, of font choices, color, a pattern or a texture, possibly even a sound, a photography style, an illustration style, and creating a suite of visual elements that you will use consistently across everything that you do.